And welcome to another edition of South Texas Crossfire. This is Attorney Joe Flores reminding you to join us each and every week right here on KTMV with the Lopez family, saying hi. Big shout out to Carlos Lopez and his dad, Don Humberto, celebrating over 50 years. It all started back with Scene, and then it went to Univision. But now KTMV, the Carlos Lopez and his dad, the whole family are making this possible, and I wanted to give them a big shout out. Also, let's not forget K Alamo and also their station there in Channel 23 that will be broadcasting in San Antonio, Texas. Had to think there for a second. And then KVTV in Laredo with our signal in CBS right after CSI, right before Wheel of Fortune on Saturdays, and 80 miles into Mexico. And let's not forget, thanks to the magic of Real Simple Productions, we are uploaded on YouTube, on the World Wide Web. And we're encouraging people to watch that. In case you miss us, that's youtube.com, search term Joe Flores or South Texas Crossfire. Or if you really want to go crazy, Juan Reina. I also threw that on there, search term Juan Reina, and that handsome man comes out. With me today, I have the distinct pleasure of introducing not only a lawyer and a role model for me, but also a civil rights activist, a guy who knows the history of South Texas. I've been wanting him to come out for 2 years. Welcome, Mr. Garcia. How are you?
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here with you, Joe.
Well, I was wondering to myself, I said, when am I going to get this guy on? And then I ran into your son-in-law, Joe Rich. I said I was going to give him a plug. Wigington Rumley, Joe Rich, great lawyer, hailing from Savannah, Georgia. But anyway, I'm glad you're on because, I was thinking about what are we going to talk about? And I said, the chairman of the board, Amador Garcia, can talk about what he wants. So let's jump in feet first, and let's just get a little background. What made you become a lawyer?
I don't know. I started off in the grocery business, and I found out that was very difficult on your feet and maybe other parts of your anatomy. Somehow I had a very good civics government teacher, Mrs. Lucille Parrish, whom my other classmates found the Constitution very dull, Texas history, American history, very dull, but I just loved it. Such phrases as due process, we the people, just became ingrained here, and there was no lawyer role models in my family, and so. I think that's how I got started.
Well, and a lot of people, don't realize because, younger men like myself, I still say myself, I just, hit the 40s here, but but a lot of us are standing on the shoulders of the guys like you who started out here in South Texas, and we were just talking the other day that Hispanic lawyers, how many were there, you guys? I bet you can name them on one hand here in Corpus Christi in the 60s and 70s when you started out.
Probably two hands.
Two hands. And who were they? Y'all are going to get free advertising here. Go for it.
Some of these gentlemen have passed on. But there was Judge Hector de Peña, Leo Duran, Jimmy de Anda, of significant fame and expertise. There was myself, Rudy Garza came in later, and Ed de Aces.
Well, there were 6 of you guys, 6 abogados here in South Texas in Corpus Christi, and the Bar Association. Let's talk truth and let's, be realistic here. What were some of the barriers and the cultural barriers that you encountered as being one of the first Hispanic lawyers here in this area?
Actually, it started before then. I went to the University of Texas School of Law. I got there in '65 and graduated in '68. You may or may not be familiar, but there was always, the law firms would come to interview, and there would be a posting, Baker Botts, Jaworski, and all those guys, and they would say the only people that were really given an opportunity to interview would be the upper 5%, law review, order of the coif, which left us Mexicanos, out in the cold. So we didn't get interviewed for positions while we were in the gestation period in law school. And so I call them the silk stocking law firms.
They still are, yeah.
The silk stocking law firms, they had no need for Hispanic lawyers. And so you're pretty much on your own. You started off probably going with the government, city, county, district attorney, things like that. So there was never an opportunity for us to interview with a prestigious firm simply because you know, you didn't have the grades or thereabouts, and so you were automatically included. And then there was very few of us. In 1965 through 68, the period of time that I was in law school, there were 7 of us.
Wow.
Out of a total student population of around maybe 450. I mean, that's first, second, and third year law students.
I mean, that's incredible. I mean, you went there, and the school experience, you know, you're talking about the interviews that really a lot of the interviews were closed to Mexican Americans, yes. You know, and also the difficulty now being an infinitesimal percentage of the graduating class at University of Texas in '68. You know, what barriers in the student body, in organizations, attitudes of professors. Talk to us a little bit about that to let us know what the experience was like.
Well, first of all, it was mostly a white, I won't say Anglo-Saxon Protestant. We had a lot of people from the East, a lot of ethnic Jews, and don't have anything about the Jewish people, but those were the guys who couldn't get to Princeton or Yale or Harvard or Columbia, but they thought UT was a prestigious law school, so that's where they come in. And so the Easterners, the foreigners, would come in, and so there was no room at the end for us of the Texas experience to come in and take a seat and visit with Dean Keaton, the dean of the law school. So there was already you're already excluded simply because there were more of them than there were of us. Professors, you know, I can't tell you that I had one warm, fuzzy feeling for any one of my teachers. They were all arrogant. They all, you know, they teach you the Socratic method.
Blast you, make you stand up, right?
No,
recite for an hour.
Recite, yes, yes. And so it wasn't easy. It was not easy to deal with the culture. And you know, and I was not a young fellow. I left Austin in '59. Took a commission in the Army through ROTC, Second Lieutenant, United States Army, Regular Army.
Thank you for serving.
Yes, sir. Thank you for allowing me to serve. And I spent 5 years in the military. So I was not a young fellow. I was not, a Pollyanna. I'd been in the military, you know, so forth and so on. And we can talk about that in a minute. And so I was a little older. I had children. My wife and I were married at the time, and we had 2 kids, and I was working part-time, and it was a very interesting experience. But the point I'm making is that I had been exposed more so than the neophytes right out of college who went into law school. And even then, it was difficult, simply because we didn't relate, we didn't have that collegiality. I mean, it just wasn't there.